Feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges and seeking healing? Welcome to Your Love Talk, a safe haven where you'll discover effective strategies to overcome obstacles. Join Dr. Beverly Booth as she explores inspiring tales of resilience from individuals who have triumphed over adversity, emerging stronger and more fulfilled. Unleash your inner strength and embark on a journey of transformation. Now, here's your host, Dr. Beverly.
Welcome to Your Love Talk. I am so pleased to welcome Eileen Carlucci to this podcast episode. Eileen is an author, speaker, certified life coach, and wardrobe styler. Eileen provides guidance to women who are going through a life transition. She transformed her life after experiencing a number of significant life changes. Listen closely to her words of hope and healing. Hi, Eileen. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Hi, Beverly. Thank you so much for the invitation. I am really so inspired by you, and I really appreciate the invite. I'm so happy to be here as one of your guests. Thank you.
Wonderful. It's great to have you. And we met years ago, and we reconnected probably a few months ago. Yeah. And it was so good to hear that you are working on a book and you are a life coach. And I would love to tell the audience a little bit more about that. Can you explain what you do?
Yes, I will definitely. And it's so great to reconnect with you. This is so awesome. About 10 years ago, I was going through like the worst time in my life. Was going through a divorce, had my children going off to college, and I lost my amazing dad and my beloved boxer. And I was trying to get back into the workforce. I'd been a stay-at-home mom. I was very disempowered by my skills. And like, who's going to hire me? My confidence level. And I just felt like I was beaten up. And this went on for a couple of years. I was having a pity party every day. And I remember coming home, the house is eerily quiet. The kids are off at college. My dog passed away. No one to greet me. And I'm just like, who am I? Like, I feel like I lost my identity. Like, who am I now in this world? And I'm like, you know what? I got to invest in me. So I picked up the phone. I signed myself up for personal growth and development classes. And that was it. And I've been on a 10-year journey of transformation. That's really what inspired me. With one of the programs I went to, I just said, you know what? Going through a divorce, I have a lot of knowledge, and I am going to host an event for women. So I hosted an event where I had a bunch of speakers. It was so powerful. I'm like, this is what I want to do. And I started hosting events. And then I said, you know what? I really found my passion. I really want to empower women. And I'm hearing a lot of conversations of women in midlife that are going through divorces or career switches. Am I too old? They're having kids leave the nest, or, their parents are sick, aging, dying, like these transitions of midlife. And I said, I want to be a life coach and help. I started with divorce, and then I transitioned to let's create a first-class and fabulous life in midlife. So that's really what my coaching business is about. And over the 10 years, I added a wardrobe styling business. So it's kind of evolved. But that's really how I got started. I did get certified to become a life coach, and I absolutely love what I do. And I love helping women live their most fabulous lives. So
that is wonderful. When sometimes you get married, you can also lose yourself. You have to be so intentional to make sure that you don't.
Yes.
And especially when you are focused on being that wife, raising children, and then you become an empty nester. And going through divorce can actually really wake a lot of women up.
Exactly.
And realizing that, okay, who am I and how do I find myself? So I'm glad that you're able to get there.
Thank you. Yes, I feel like I totally lost my identity, but it was time to create a new me, and I was hungry and ready to do it. Took a little time to get there, but it's been a fun process.
That's great. And you also have a new book coming out, I understand.
I do. Yes. I'm inspired by I love your book, Beverly. It's fabulous, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I know it takes something to write a book. And yeah, I have it coming out. The book is really it's called 7 Steps to Live Your Most Fabulous Life Over 40, 50, and Beyond. It's really for like that midlife woman that's ready to reinvent herself and like get out of her own way. And I have the 7-step couple I'm going to share. I have the first step that I talk about is the mindset reboot. Mm-hmm. And really I think sometimes we have all these old stories about ourselves and these beliefs about ourselves, and we make up these truths that aren't even true. So really, when I did all my personal growth and development courses and life coaching and counseling, everything, I believe in it all. I realized I was really sabotaging myself, just got out of my own way. And that's really what a big part of the book is. I really dabble the mindset reboot throughout the book. And then another great step is the wardrobe reset and refresh, because I'm hearing women want to start a new life, but like my clothes are like, I hate my wardrobe, or I've lost weight, or I've been in COVID, I've been wearing loungewear, and really how to take what you have, mix, match, and repurpose. And then I kind of help you fill the gaps for a full and complete wardrobe. So that's just two of the great steps in the book. There's a lot more, but just a lot of tips, tools, resources. And it's fun, like creating beauty and being the star of your own story. The book is just all about that.
I love that. You always look fabulous, Eileen.
Thank you, Beverly.
I have noticed that.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I do love clothes and I love glam, and there's a lot of glam in the book.
Wonderful. But I totally agree with you. I always tell people that it first starts in the mind, and you have to really look at what you are thinking, what you're telling yourself.
Exactly.
Because whatever you tell yourself also affects your emotions and affects how you behave.
Yes.
So I love that.
And I so admire what you do. Yeah. Because you really get people clear on that. Yes.
Wonderful. So you mentioned that one of the big adversities in your life was going through a divorce. And that really made you wake up and change you.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that adversity that you went through?
Yeah. So I was married for 24 years. We were together about 4 years before that. So it's like 30 years of my life, my 20s, 30s, 40s. I'm approaching 50. Did not invest in myself for a lot of years. I'm busy, being a mom and a wife and a homemaker and the dog and the house. And, I was working part-time at a lot of subbing and doing little admin positions. And it was just shocking because I was like, you go from being in a relationship to now it's you, right? I just felt like my dad was sick at the same time. So I just felt so losing him. He's such an amazing father. And the kids going off to college, I just felt like I don't even know who I was. I would just go to bed and cry every night. I didn't know how to navigate it. And that's why I said that mindset reboot. And in the end, everything worked out good. That pain, like I had something in my book, it's called Your Pain is Your Credential. All that pain I felt then, that's my credential. And that's who I can help now. So all that pain, I turned it into something positive and wrote this book. And it's my credential now, who I am in the world, who I want to help. That's the women out there who need me, right? Because I needed that when I was going through mine. I used to read books about women going through divorces and like, oh, I wish I could get over that hurdle. And I know how important it is.
Yeah, having that support system is really important.
Yes.
So Eileen, after being married for, is it 24 years you said?
24, yes.
24, that's a long time.
Yes.
Did you feel like you guys were growing apart during those years?
Yeah, I mean, there was so much, but in the end, honestly, like I really kind of saw like, I don't want to leave that marriage and then go into another relationship and be that same person. So I really took some time to forgive myself, forgiveness all around for both of us, like look at the good in the marriage and the bad and really be accountable for my part in all of it. And that really helped me, like just forgiving all of it. And like, I think I was attached to the way my life was supposed to look like. I was supposed to be married forever, supposed to grow old. I was very attached to, like I wanted this perfect family and whatever. And I had a hard time accepting what my life was. And now I accept it. Like I love what my life is. I actually love being single. And I guess it's been so long ago that I do remember that pain, but I don't know, so much good came out of me being single and I helped so many women. I have this book. I grew a lot from the experience and I accept what my life is because I write something in the book about the yin and the yang. You have good and bad. You have sickness and health. And that's what our lives are. It's like you're on this train and you're going to go down in the peaks and the valleys and the ups and the downs. And yeah, we're just going to have the good and the bad in life. That's just how it is. And you got to just, again, use your pain as your credential.
I really like the fact that you can say that that was good. And I can tell that you do have this mindset reset.
Thank you.
A lot of women are afraid to leave a relationship, especially when they've been married that long, because when you get married, you figure it's going to be till death do you part. That's what we usually say.
Yeah.
And so when it doesn't go well, then it's really difficult to know what's on the other side.
Exactly.
It's great to say, I actually enjoy being single.
Yes.
And finding yourself.
And I always tell women, don't jump into another relationship, like invest in you. Because sometimes it feels safer And like, this is the way I should be treated, this person, but you got to do the work. Otherwise, you're going to bring that same person from the last relationship. And we have to hold ourselves accountable. It's not always just that other person. You're going to bring that same person to that relationship again. Invest, and then really next relationship, you set your boundaries. And if you don't find that right person, it's okay. Like sometimes as you get older, other people have children and they have, sick parents, and maybe they have debt or they have this, or you know what I mean? And you go out on dates and you see I'm not really finding what I want. And that's okay. Like maybe it will happen. If it doesn't, being single is very underrated. There's so much freedom. You could just do whatever you want. Like the sky's the limit. It's great if you find a partnership, but if not, you have your friends, you have your family, you just make a great life no matter what. Just invest in you. When you get out of a relationship, make sure you do the investing. If you need a financial planner, if you go get a coach, a psychologist, what you do is amazing, Beverly, with relationships for people. Like you just give access to a whole new healing their heart. And your book is so powerful. I'd say, that's what you got to do. Invest in you, right? Go get a trainer, get a friend to go walk with. Just keep investing.
Yeah, I do like that. It's really, totally agree with you. It's really important to be able to be in that place where you're taking care of yourself.
Yes.
And not jumping into another relationship just because you're feeling lonely, and really appreciating just enjoying life and actually just accepting where you are. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Exactly. And say you're by yourself on a Friday night. Sometimes what I do when I come home from work, I like to switch my decor around. Oh. Like I took this little beachy decor, put it around my house, lit candles, got a glass of wine. What book am I going to read? I went on TikTok for a while. I'm just I'm going to create beauty. I'm going to make myself a pretty tray with cheese and crackers, put some music on, just be the love of your own life. Just take yourself out on a date or go out to a nice restaurant. Just focus on that, loving yourself first. You can't love another until you truly love yourself, right?
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Eileen, how did you work through the pain of a breakup? And especially as you were dealing with the loss of your dad as well as your dog?
Yes. I mean, I didn't do too well in the beginning, but I think for me, I got my support with the divorce. I did build a team around that, which empowered me because I never got divorced before. I didn't know what I was doing. I really had a team. I did have a coach because I needed the mindset work. I did have a team with a financial expert, lawyer. We had in the end, we had a good divorce because we just agreed and we decided we're going to be great parents to our children and be friendly. And that's the decision we made. And that's huge because your kids don't need to have you constantly, the marriage is over. I just think all the doing the work with yourself and healing, and then you can create something with your ex or whatever, good relationships. And then create a team with even the kids. Sometimes you may need help with the laundry or whatever. I felt I had great friends. I had a great support system. And I did do a personal growth and development class where we were in person. So just having that team of people that I could just call and they would kind of coach me. It just really helps. And just having great friends and family and just being grateful. I'd always just be grateful. And I so appreciate my dad. He was such an amazing man. It was just so sad when he passed away. We were just devastated, our whole family. But I thank God how lucky to have him. He was just bigger than life. He's Italian, Jersey guy, charisma, fun. I don't know if you ever met my dad. I know you did. Yeah. And he would treat everyone, take us to New York. Hey, you guys want to go? Come on. Just the most generous man. I just pull it. It's going to make me cry now.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's okay.
I know. I feel he helped me in life and he's always here with me in death. Always. He gives me a lot of strength.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you.
It's okay to be emotional and cry because we have these
I know. And his birthday just passed, so I always get emotional around his birthday. So
the memories keep us going too.
Exactly.
So it's important to be able to have that support system, as you mentioned. Your dad was one, and other people. And I love how you pulled coaches and friends and whoever you needed to be able to help you get through that difficult time in your life.
Yeah. So my sister was amazing. She's a nurse. She was so great with my dad. She left her job. She was with him, took care of my mom and dad up in New Jersey. And she's amazing. And we have just such great family up there that all support him. Before he died, everybody just came right. You could just feel the love. You know what I mean? I just think just having everybody and just, we had a celebration of life and just the whole experience gave me so much strength. So that's how I really got through it. Yep.
Wonderful. I actually like what you said too about your ex, that you had to work together to co-parent and then to work through forgiveness. So how did you get to that place of, you said forgiving him and also forgiving yourself?
I just like made a decision, right? Like the marriage is over and I made a decision. I want to be friendly and he does too. And like, these are our kids are going to have, and they did. We had a wedding. My ex and I walked my daughter down the aisle. It was beautiful. My in-laws are amazing. Like my mother-in-law passed away in 2021, but they stayed in our lives. We still stayed. Like my family and their family, they came to my dad's funeral. I mean, we just stayed a family. My sister-in-law I love, like we just stayed. As soon as when we got divorced, we had a graduation party for my daughter for high school the next month or around that time. Okay. And the whole family was there. It was just like, that's what we created. Like, just, we're going to be there for our kids and be there for the milestones. And the same for my son and all the graduations and beautiful things. Like we had a 25th for my son's birthday and we came together and had a party for him. So that's just, we stay a family in a different way, right? Just be there for the kids. That's what matters most.
Yes. And how did the kids adjust to when they first heard the change?
In the beginning, it was very hard. Like divorce is not easy on kids. And my daughter was going away to college. It's not easy on anyone, but we stayed in the family home, which really helped. After a while, my former husband and I, we just, again, decided we were going to be friendly. That really makes a huge difference. Staying in the house, you're still in the same neighborhood, the same school. We're very fortunate to have that. And they did pretty well. Of course, any kid is it's not easy to go through a divorce, but so many kids go through it and it makes them stronger too, right? And everybody's happy. It's fine. Like everybody's enjoying their life. My kids are doing great. It's amazing because around that same time, you talk about like the empty nest, like when they both went away to college, you drop your kids off at college, you get this like sick feeling in the pit of your stomach. You're like, wait a minute, 18 years, you're so happy for them, but you're sad for yourself.
Yes.
Because then they're just like, used to them coming home every day. So I kind of had that around that same time, like just missing them like crazy. But I was just so happy and proud. That's where they needed to be. Yeah. But that's a transition too. So that's why the book, it's just like all these transitions you go through in midlife and how to navigate them, Yeah.
And I can see that because you do spend so much time and energy with your children from the time they were born all the way till they're 18. And you want to see them go off and be successful, but that's been your life for so long. So that's hard. It can be really hard.
Motherhood can be like, I'm like, God, motherhood is cruel, really. Their whole life and then they're just gone, And then my kids have kind of came home. They came home during the pandemic. And then my daughter got married, moved to another city. My son came home and sometimes they kind of come and go and you have to transition every time. But it's just so fun seeing them grow. And like now they're totally adulting. My daughter's got her house and my son, he's got a great job and he just ran a marathon. I'm so proud of him. Like, it's just fun to see them like become adults and all your hard work pay off.
What an investment, and to see them thrive is
really exactly.
Great to see. Wonderful. What are some of the lessons you learned in this journey of struggle, heartbreak, and yet you are thriving?
I really think like I had this little quote, like choose to be unstoppable. Mm-hmm. Like I'm making a choice, right? Because what happened is I was at the lowest point of my life. I made the choice, like I'm going to change things up, right? And like I said, I'm doing these are the 7 steps I really used in my book. I really did use these steps. And some of them were, all the training and development I got and like just the tips and tools and the reading, and some just like are totally like me, like creating beauty in my home. I did do like a refresh around the house when I just went like room to room. Some of the rooms I couldn't change out too much, but just pillows or whatever, changing decor. I'm just going to choose to create beauty. Like that was a choice. I'm going to change up my outfits. And I started going, like I'm choosing, I'm going to go out. I actually went to some embassy events by myself in DC, got all dressed up. I'm going to choose to get out of my comfort zone. Like I made choices.
Yes.
And I met amazing people and networking because, here I start with an events business and my coaching, going to choose to put myself out there and go date. Like everything was like a choice, right? I'm going to choose to get myself on Facebook and do lives. And I created a Facebook group and I went back into the workforce, and here I'm an older worker. I'm going to choose to learn all this stuff that I was afraid to learn. I was learning from all the young ones and I can keep up with them. So just a choice. And and then another thing is like, I'm going to choose. Sometimes people are used to you being a certain way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you start to change a little and you'll get some naysayers or some little, and I'm going to choose to understand where they're at. And I have changed there. I have had a transformation, and that's okay. Right. And not to stay off the course, because not everyone's going to understand your journey, what you want to do. They just don't get it. But the audience that does, it's powerful. Right.
Yes.
Like the people that need your help and whatever. Like I was looking when I was going through my divorce, like whatever book I could read, whatever person inspired me, it helped me so much. Like I can do this. It's just like, that's what I decide I'm going to choose.
I like that. The power of making a decision.
Exactly.
Knowing that you can make a choice.
Exactly.
And really, it's about letting go of your fears and
getting out of your own way.
Get out of our own way.
Yep.
Choose to walk through your fears because you're going to have them, but it's making a choice of how you want your life to be. I love that.
Exactly. Not being afraid, because look at like how it's such a fast life, right? And boom, it's over.
Yeah.
So we just don't want to have regrets, So, and really it's like what comes from your heart. Because I do have this section of my book about values, like whatever you value them. Like I value getting dressed up and entertaining. I had this part in my book called The Queen of Entertaining, because I learned so much from my mom. She was the entertainer of all entertainers. And being yourself, like I value that. Not everybody's going to value entertaining or having a house. Some people want to travel. I love a house, like people say, why did you keep your house when you got divorced? I love a home. That's why I want a house, like that's what I value. Yeah. So really like leading from your values, like what you value.
And then realizing that it's okay to embrace change. And exactly. I love how you said you change your wardrobe, you change your home, you're in the same home, you made it look the way you want it to look. I remember when I went through my divorce, I went from more of a traditional type of look in my home to more transitional, some modern aspects of it. Yep. And realizing that my style changed. And it was good to see that, and to embrace that.
Beverly, I feel the same way. Like some of the rooms are still a little bit that early 2000s. Mm-hmm. I tried to zhuzh it up a little, but some of the rooms I did a complete more contemporary, not all this clutter all over the wall and cream. And like my bedroom, I made a very glam bedroom. I sold every bit of furniture. I went down to Farmville and I bought this like cream fabric bed. And it's beautiful. And it's just, I don't have a lot of stuff on the walls in this gorgeous silver sparkly chandelier.
Yes.
So I just made that bedroom my own. Like I stayed in the same space, but I made it my own.
I love that. Eileen, what would you tell other people, especially women, who are hurting because they are going through this life transition and they don't know how to cope, how to move, how to get to that next stage?
Right. I have a vision board right in front of my desk here, and I'm going to read it. And this was me, because a lot of stuff we have, and as you know, because you're a professional in this, your inner child runs the show a lot, like constantly, right? And I had this little story that I made up about myself. I was constantly overwhelmed. I couldn't do stuff. And like overwhelm is just like when you're afraid of expansion. And that's, again, like getting out of your own way. When you feel overwhelmed, I have this for you. It's very overwhelming, right? You have so many changes. You have financial, if you have to move. When you get divorced, I mean, it's just everything. Like what's co-parenting? Am I going to be able to make it financially? I'm a single person now, right? Overwhelm is when you make the unhelpful decision to stop breathing, lose perspective, and forget you're in control of your life. And I would just say, take every one of your situations, if you have to put it on paper or whatever, and put it in a little box. Like you're going to put it up on the shelf and you take one down at a time. Because that's really how you get overwhelmed. You take all that stuff and it's just, you're just all over the place, right?
Okay.
Like I'm going to work on this, right? And no matter what, like when I would get overwhelmed, or believe me, being an entrepreneur, I mean, I've been in places where financially it was scary. I was getting myself into debt. What am I doing? I did not lose sight of my dream. I don't care what happens. I didn't understand this journey of being an entrepreneur. That's okay. I would still write in my book. I would still help clients. And even if I just feel like you just have to not lose sight, put everything on the shelf and just don't go there with the overwhelm. You can do it. So that's what I would say.
You would have people just release everything, write it all down. Is that because they can see things a little bit more clearly?
Just take every one of your issues or problems or whatever you're dealing with and put it in a box.
Okay.
Like right now, like what do you need to work on now? Is there a financial piece if you're going through a divorce that you have to work on? Who do you need help? Who can be on your team? Do you need a financial planner? Do you need the mental part? Just take one thing at a time, because I think we can get very overwhelmed and lose sight. Even when you're going through that or you're healing, like, what do you really dream of? What do you really want? Like, focus on that. Like, you know what? even though it's like so scary, it's the past now. Even if you have to cry and grieve and forgive yourself and forgive that other person, there's still like that whole, like we're going into the future. Like there's so much to be excited about. This is your life. You get to create it. Your new life starts now, right? That's my book. Your new life starts now.
I love that because we oftentimes get stuck in the past.
Exactly.
We worry about the future and we don't know how to live right now, today. And I like the fact that if you take all the things that you're struggling with and write them down, and then you just start tackling them one at a time, that really helps to have.
Exactly. Yep. Because overwhelmed, that's what happens, right? And you can do it just day by day, and that's it.
Great.
Make the choice, make the decision.
Wonderful. This is called Your Love Talk. Are there words of affirmation that you give yourself when you want to stay motivated just to keep going?
This is one of my favorite quotes. Luck is created, so go create yours. It's because I think we think, oh, they're lucky. They had this. Their parents did that for them. They didn't go through a divorce, We have the power to do it. We just have to, again, change those thoughts. Every time I get there, like, I don't know if this is going to happen. Can I really finish this book? Can I really make all my dreams come true? And I'm like, you can. Luck is created. Go create yours, right? It's like sometimes I have to get up early before work and do certain things. How can I make this happen? Do I create a team? Do I hire someone to help me? Do I get up early? You feel proud of yourself because every single thing you do to push yourself forward is an accomplishment. And the more you accomplish, right, and get into action, the more confidence you get. And the more you believe in yourself, right? Just get out of your own way. Focus on creating your luck and doing the steps to do it. And if you need help, you get the help you need to do it.
Love it. That's a great way to get unstuck.
Yes, exactly.
Eileen, how do people find you?
So I have my business. It's Eileen Carlucci, Redesign Your Life Coach, because I redesigned my life all those years back. And I just love that name. And so I have a Facebook business page. I'm on TikTok. My name is Eileen, Your Life Is Now, because I didn't have enough. My book called is Your New Life Starts Now. I didn't have enough room, but it says Your New Life Is Now. So I'm on TikTok. I'm kind of new on it. I'm learning the TikTok world, but it's really cool. Yeah, I'm learning every day.
Nice.
I have a Facebook group that's called Your New Life Starts Now. That's where I share tips and tools and inspiring conversations with women and share your story. And yeah, you can find me. And then I'm on Instagram as well. And I have a website, eileencarlucci.com. I do have a website. If you want to have a conversation with me, I'd love to chat. I have my email there. You can find it on my website.
Thank you so much for being here today, sharing your story. It was so insightful. And I know it's going to touch a lot of people's lives.
Thank you, Beverly. And I thank you for having me. And this is such an amazing space for women and people to heal after relationships. And you are a true inspiration. And I wish you a lot of luck with your podcast. I know it's going to be such a huge hit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eileen, for your wisdom in helping women reinvent themselves when they go through a life transition. You reminded us of the importance of not losing ourselves when we get married or when we have children. I also appreciated the reminder that we can enjoy our life regardless of the season we find ourselves in. We must do the work to be the best version of ourselves. I will leave you with 2 affirmations from my Love Talk card deck. The first is, I put myself first and not last. And the second is, I choose to see my beauty inside and out. For additional resources to support you on your healing journey, please visit yourlovetalk.com. Thank you for tuning in to this episode today. This is Dr. Beverly from Your Love Talk. Blessings.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Your Love Talk. Remember, you're never alone in your struggles. Take the time to affirm yourself daily as an act of love to yourself. And know that this podcast is here to offer genuine support and guidance whenever you need it. For more insightful and transformative discussions, visit yourlovetalk.com to explore additional episodes. Take the next step forward with courage, knowing you can overcome any challenge. That's all for today. Until next time.